Hello, happy Tuesday. Let's see. Let me know if you can hear me okay in the comments. Hopefully you can see me okay too. And let me just scroll up, see who's with us today. Let's see here. Ta-da! My system's lagging a little bit, but it's alright. Oh yeah, Janet's joining us. I'll turn off my phone notifications. Hello from Nevada. Sunny today. Highs near 80s this weekend. I know, Janet. Isn't that so crazy? It's been so cold and we got like multiple feet of snow and like what is going on? And now it's gonna be like bonkers hot. Yes, plan on stitching outside all weekend long. Yeah, I can't wait. I'll probably be hanging out at the park more this weekend as well. Oh, I bet it's gonna be crowded. Yeah, everyone's gonna be out at the park. Maybe I should just hang out in my backyard. If this is your first time here, my name is Elise Beck. You can see my name right there. That's my website. And what we usually do in the beginnings is introduce ourselves in the comments. If you're on YouTube with me, then you can participate in the live chat. If you're watching from Facebook, just leave a comment and I'll try to peek in and see if I see your comment there. Just introduce yourself, let us know where you're joining us from, and if you are in the US, please go ahead and type out your full state so all our international friends know where you're from as well. And I can't wait to get to know you better in the comments. Let's see here. So we have Jenny's joining. Hello, Jenny. Oh, there's Jenny's from Windy Fort. Oh, it's windy today. Oh, fire danger alerts are in place all along the front. Oh no. Hope you stay safe. Yeah, hope there's no fires. But yeah, please do stay safe regardless. And then we had Julie's joining from South Louisiana. How was Mardi Gras, Julie? I can't wait to hear all about the yummy food that you got to have. Let's see, we have Jolene from South Dakota. Hello. So glad to have you here. Let's see. Da-da-da-da. Ooh, look at that. Jenny said the EPP project ideas are going at warp speed now. It is so much fun to be getting a lot done. Oh my God. If you have not seen Jenny's project, be prepared to let your eyes feast. Yeah, she has the most gorgeous fabric selections and awesome fussy cutting. Hello, Janet. Let's see here. Da-da. Oh, I have no idea what part of South Dakota that is, Jillian. But I'm so glad you're here. Let me just make sure that we're streaming okay on Facebook. I'm sharing it to the Facebook my Facebook page. Let's see. Oh, it does say I'm live. Yay! I like it. Let me just share it into the EPP collective. We're so close to 60,000 members. I think like 40 some members off, and then so we'll definitely hit 60,000 members this week. So that'll be that's gonna be exciting. Let's see, group. Let's share it to the. Let me see. Oh, Facebook said something's not working. Let's try it again. If it doesn't work the first time, we do it one more time. Here we go. See, now it works. Hi, at everyone. Da, da, da. Every. Oh, it won't let me. Oh, there we go. We are live. Come and join us. Let's see. Am I posting the right group? Yeah, I think I am. It'd be terrible if I posted in some non-EPP related group. They'll be like, what is this about? I don't get it. Let's see here, and let's make sure that the post is shared in the EPP collective. Awesome sauce. Yes, it is. Okay, we're on a roll. Let's see here. Sonia! Hello, everyone from Puerto Rico. Oh no, Julie's under fire alert there too. Huge fire across the lake, burning in the woods along I-12, both sides of the interstate. Oh no! Even had burning ash landing in middle of interstate. Had to be shut down for fire. Oh yeah, that is so scary. Ooh. That is so scary when the fire jumps because of the embers and what the ash burning ash. That is so scary. I mean, I know it's such a pain when they close off a freeway, but I think it's when it's for the safety of everyone. Yeah, I hope the fire department's been able to clear that up. Yeah. from Williamsburg, Virginia. Hello, so glad to see you. Let's see here. And we have Barbara's joining us. Hello, hello, hello. Coral from Australia, bright and early. Good morning. And we have Nancy's joining us from sunny and snowy here in Western New York. Yeah, sun and snow. That's the best weather, isn't it, Nancy? It's cold, but it's not chilly because the sun warms you up. Yeah, does that make sense? Yes. But I hope you didn't get too much snow. I was hearing about the storm coming in. Yeah, lots of rain and snow forecast. Let's see. All right. So, yesterday in the EPP Society of School, the new Hexi Magic block went live. Every Monday, there's a new Hexi Magic block, and yesterday we had a butterfly block, and I'm gonna show you a sneaky peek of what it looks like. This is the butterfly block that went live in the EPP Society, and then Pamela, I'm like Pamela, one of our members asked, what's a good tip, tips on basting and sewing the pieces together, because obviously when you have shapes with multiple pieces, you're gonna end up with little tails, unless you're doing like all hexagons, because hexagons never have tails, right? And by tails, I mean the little bits of fabric that end up sticking out from the edge because you fold over the seam allowance, right? So I thought I would share my thought process. I'm sure there's lots of different ways to think about this, but usually what I do when I look at a block and I go, how am I gonna baste and sew this together? I like to break it apart into pieces, like into chunks, and then from the chunks, I'll break it down into the individual pieces and see, oh, okay, so which way does my seam allowance need to be folded in order for my little tails to tuck in and under each other, in and in and under little tongue twister, in and under each other, and so that they don't stick into each other and collide at the seam allowance, right? So it's nothing like rocket science, but it's just like a thought process, and that might give you a couple of ideas of how to think about a new block that you see and how to tackle it and just make things easier. Overall, it's kind of like solving a puzzle. That's what it all comes down to, I think. So let me move my keypad out of the way. Let's see here. Nancy's staying warm inside. Good, good, good. Pretty butterfly. Yay! Okay, so let's switch to the overhead view, and I actually dug out some fabric. I got some scraps and a solid. I used to buy a lot of Robert Kaufman Kona solids. Yeah, Kona solids, and then once I found Art Gallery fabrics, the Konas just like started to collect dust. But they do have an amazing color range, so I found something to work with today. So let's go ahead and switchy poo. Here we go. An overhead camera. Fancy, fancy. So here's the butterfly Hexi Magic block that went live in the EPP Society yesterday. And basically what I like to do, when you first see a block like this, you kind of be like, I don't know, where do I start? Left, right, top, bottom, right? So what I like to do is break it apart. So I did share with the school members how I split up the block. As you can see, it's a perfectly mirrored block, right? So you have a center going through, and then it's not a perfect center line, but you can see a big division line here, right? So I split the block up into 4 portions for them. That was my tip to get started. So you can work in one chunk at a time, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Instead of trying to do all the pieces and going into starting from the center out. So this might be easier. So we're gonna work on 1/2 today, and I have all my pieces cut out for one side. I'll keep that as a little reference. And I have my block chart. So I do give the members block chart too. So I'm not mean, like, right? They have to figure out which piece is what. So let's go like this. And I want to make sure all my letters are facing straight up, because on the slightly more technical pieces, the technical blocks that have more pieces, I'll put the letter guide on the pieces as well. And having them face up, you'll know that they're facing in the right direction. So we don't want the A facing sideways, like straight up and down. Same for the C, B, and then C and D, and then we have the B here. And E is going to go like so, because it's facing straight, right? And then we have F, da, da, It is like a puzzle, isn't it? Then G and H. Like so that's one half of this butterfly. And then I can split it into two sections like so. Oops. Come back into view. Let me move my wrist rest here. There we go. So does this make sense so far? How to just split your block apart? Because all in all, EPP, it all comes down to different shapes that are combined to make a bigger shape, right? So if you can chunk it apart, that just makes it easier. Let's see. Let's see here. I scroll up, make sure I didn't miss any. Oh, Lucy! Hello! So glad you're here. Oh, 25 degrees in New York. Holy moly. Oh, so Julie said the fire was caused by the wind that made a tree fall on the power lines. Oh no. That's terrible. Ugh. Yes, stay safe, everyone. Let's see. Oh, so Lucy had a good question. So how do you keep the letters on without the cutting machine going nuts? Or do you print PDF and hand cut? So let's say you have a scan and cut and you decide to cut these out. What I would do, hide all the letters on Cricut. You can hide the letters. Just hit the little eyeball and then it should have the little cross out and then you won't see the letters. And you can go ahead and cut your pieces and then have a PDF printout available next to you too, like I do here, like this. So you can match up your blank pieces to the ones with the letters. Because that way you don't have to fiddle with actually having the letters print out on your cutting machines. And I think it's just faster just having the PDF as a reference and just writing the letters on there. Let's see. And so that way, yeah, you don't have to just hand cut it, Lucy. Yeah. Let's see here. Niagara Falls. I still haven't been there. Yeah. PJ's Stitchery, also known as Kathy. Elise, will you ever do a show on paper piecing? Can you specify, Kathy? What do you mean by that? Usually I'm just live on YouTube. Do you mean like a show? A show? Dun, ta-da, ta-da. Let me know what you mean. Let's see here. Yeah, Coral says, stay safe, everyone. Thinking of you all. Yes, and stay safe, Coral, too. Coral, speaking of, we're switching weather soon, right? Because Coral is in Australia, so she's enjoying a nice warm summer. I heard it's been quite hot. So she'll be going into fall as we're going into spring here in the US. And I'll be complaining about the heat, and Coral will be enjoying the nice, cool summer there. It's cool stuff. Do you call it like a cold summer, or what do you do? Yes. I wonder. Or is it a hot? Are they like winter? Are the summer months your winter? Yeah. Now I'm like super confused. Let's see. Leslie! Hello, everyone. I'm here from beautiful Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada. Not talking much, but sewing. Oh, so glad you're here, Leslie. Awesome sauce. Hope you're feeling better. All right. So we have our two chunks, right? So I just split up the butterfly block like that in one half. So I'm doing the one side. And then I split up into the two chunks that you can see here with my little, oh my gosh, that line is just terrible. But let me try a little thicker. So I split it up here. That's another seam, like so. And those are the two chunks that you can see here. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with the topmost part. Okay, and keep that there. I'm gonna move the bottom away a little bit so we don't get confused. So as we're looking at the topmost part, let's see here. You kind of want to decide because we're going to have the second half on the left, right? We're only working on one half right now. So this is part of my butterfly. So I'm just going to start with it. So don't sit and overthink and don't let this take up your like whole creative crafted time. Just start somewhere and then the more experience you have, you'll kind of start to get a feel for when something should face a certain way or not. And then, we can always redo it if we don't like it and the seam allowances start to collide. So I just got some scraps from my Tilda stash. So I thought, should I make this the top or this the top? I think I'll make this the stripes the top. And I'm just gonna flip this. So I'm a 1/4 inch seam allowance gal, but if you prefer 3/8, that's totally fine too. I think I'm gonna have the stripes go with the seam here. And that way it'll be, it's gonna be facing down. Let's see here. What do we want? We kind of want that look. Yeah, up and down, or do we want it sideways? I think I'm gonna do it like that. Okay, I'm decided. So take my little glue stick. And of course, I had to pick a striped fabric just to make things more difficult. But fuzzy cutting sure makes your block more fun, right? You know, and they're more interesting with the movements. Just gonna slap that on there. Put a little glue just so that it would stay stuck. And I'll just go ahead and trim a fat 1/4 inch. There we go. We're just eyeballing it now, like so. So I got my A. And then let's see, what do we want? So I have my background pieces. So I have my Kona solid. Let's open it up on one side. Of course, it's like super wrinkly. I think this side will work better. Less wrinkles. Yeah, there we go. So obviously I'm kind of going opposite. So my butterfly is going to be in this mustard. Not typically a mustard color kind of gal, but we're just playing with it. And then I'm going to make the background of the butterfly in this turquoisey color. So I'm just going to grab my C, put a little glue, slap it on there. Remember, if your tails end up colliding a little bit, then the good thing with glue basting is that you can undo it too, right? So super easy to undo and re-baste. And if you're thread basting and you find that your tails are colliding, I would just sew your pieces together, and then after they're sewn together, open up the basting stitches and repress it in the correct direction so they don't collide. But you can't really change mid-project with thread basting. Just gonna trim that extra long tail off. And we got like couple really pretty butterfly blocks in the club already. The members got them up like super fast. Sonia got one done. Was it Terry that got another one done? Like, whoa! Very pretty. I'm gonna slap that on here. Then I can squeeze that in there. Beautiful. There we go. Because I think a lot of people, they tend to overthink basting, and then that kind of like sucks the fun out of EPP too, right? So we make errors as we go and just fix them. No life or death situation, so just have fun. That's the most important part. There we go. Move that. And I need one more piece. And the reason I put a little glue on the back before I put it on the fabric is just so that it won't move as I'm cutting the piece from the bigger piece of fabric here. I do prefer to trace all my shapes with the seam allowance that I like to use. But I just want to make this a little quicker. And so that we can get to the basting part. All right. Okay, we got some pieces done here. See, move the scrappy bits over. So we have A, C, D, and E. So these are the pieces. So now let's go ahead and figure out how do we baste this so that there are no tails colliding. And you can start with, I do like to start with short sides before the long sides. if I can. And then I'm just going to go clockwise on the A piece. And when I glue baste, I try not to get glue all the way to the edge. Let me put a little extra glue just so you can see. You don't need to put this much glue when you're glue basting. But see how I avoid putting glue down all the way to the edge? That is so that it's going to be smoother for you when you actually sew your pieces together and there's not glue right on top of the edge where your needle has to go over it or through it, I should say. See, baste that sucker. Was there a side there or did I imagine it? Hold on. Ah, yes, a short side. See? Here I'm talking and losing track of my sides. Here we go. So I got my A piece done. Ta-da! Very nice. Okay. A, right that. Come down a little bit. And now we have my C piece. And so we know that this side is the center. Center right there. Center side. Maybe I should write it. Center. There we go. So do we want this? We know that this is going to cause a tail here, right? So now the dilemma is, where do we want that to face? When I do my hexi magic blocks, I know I'm going to open the seam allowance right on the edge. Unless you plan on just combining lots of hexi magic blocks, then you will go ahead and baste the outermost edge. But I always recommend basting the outermost edge last if you can possibly, because that will give you the option of just opening it up. And what I mean by the outermost edge is this edge. That'll be the edge of the top of the hexagon here, right? So I'll try to baste that one last if possible. So if you want to go clockwise, I could start with this side here. Like so. And then continue. Make sure it shows what I'm doing here. And come up this side. Oh, I put a lot of glue. Yay. Like so. And here we have one of those little tails that I'm talking about. See that little tail of fabric sticking out? But because the A piece has no tail, so there won't be any overlap of tails. It will just go right over the edge of the A piece like so. See the little tail there? Like that, and it's perfect. And then I can decide if I do want to baste the outermost edge of the hexagon shape or not. And I'll go ahead and baste it for now. Usually I like to keep it open. And here we end up with a little tail on the side as well. So that's one we want to look out for with the next piece here. And so here we want to do this side last if possible. So I'm going to start with this one, but that's outside the hexagon too. So let's erase that. Let me do this side first. I'm going to do this little short side and long side last if I can. And I'm going to go ahead and baste all up. It's been so long since I used a Kona solid. I should use it more. There are lots of colors. The only thing I don't like about Kona solids is that they unravel so easily. So you gotta, I would do 3/8 of an inch seam allowance on Kona solids if you do use them. All right, so now I can go ahead and finish the little short side here. And this long side. Keeping in mind that I might want to open these last two sides up if I want to keep it as an open block with all the seam allowance opened up, like so. All right, so we got the little tail from the C piece laying on top of the D piece and the longer tail laying on top of the A piece. Let me glue a little more, like so. Okay, and now let's look at E. Right, so right there. So this is the outside of the hexagon. I'm going to do that side last. So I'm going to work on this bottom side first. Like that. And this, now we find out if we have lots of tails that are gonna cause us issues so we need to redo the order of the basting or not, like that. Okay, and then now dun dun dun, let's fold this in and let's see. So we're ending up with 3 little tails on this piece. 1 tail there, 2 and 3. But this tail here will lay right over the D piece. It'll fit right in that little space there. How perfect is that? And here we don't know yet until we make the bottom half of the butterfly. Let's see here. Let me make sure I didn't miss any questions. Let me just scroll up a little bit. I should keep this lid on. Like that. Let me just scroll up. Let's see here. Oh, see, yeah. So Hannah is a thread baster. So Hannah said with thread basting, you can cut the thread in the corner, open the corner, refold it, and re-thread baste it. Yes, absolutely. So same concept as with glue basting, where you can just open up the seam allowance. Like let's say this one, I figured, oh, it's wrong. The tails are gonna collide. Then I could just open it up like so, and fold this side down first, and then fold that side, and see how the tail now faces in a different directions. So that glue basting is just a little quicker, but like Hannes said, with thread basting, you would just have to undo the thread basting, the little knot or stitch, and then redo it. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Oh, I see a lot about buffalo. Now I'm like curious. Oh, so KJ just joined, and I was wondering about using other glue because the famous one is getting expensive. Yeah, so there's lots of different glue pens by several brands. They're all technically using the same manufacturer. They just rebrand their glue pens. So this Fountain Porter, exactly the same as the Soline. So I have Soline refills, and they all fit the same because the refill is the same. It's just different color barrel on the glue pens, and the branding is just different. But Soline you can only find in quilt shops. Fonts and Porter you could find them at Joann's when they were around, and then I'm not sure if Michaels or other big craft stores now carry Fonts and Porter. And then there's what's that French needle brand? I forgot the name. But yes, they all look the same. The refills are pretty much universal, so you can just buy any type of refill, fill it into any barrel that you have. Doesn't have to say Soline on it or Fountain Porter. If it's the same barrel, you're totally fine. But yes, I do run out of these much faster, so I like to use school glue sticks. They come in super duper handy. Sweet deal when you can find like 60 for like $10-12. Can't beat that, right? So yeah, so there's nothing wrong with using school glue sticks. Just make sure that they're the washable kind. It says washable here. Focus. There we go. Washable glue pens, glue sticks. Just don't pick the permanent ones because then you're gonna be sad. Let's see. Let's see. Oh yes, Bohin. Yes, thank you, Jenny. Like always forget their name for some reason. Uh, Kathy says, at least what you're doing is kind of like paper piecing. This is English paper piecing. A little bit different from foundation paper piecing, if that's what you're referring to. Different process. Foundation paper piecing makes my brain break. because you have to think in like a mirrored way, right? But yeah, English paper piecing is just easier, I think, for me personally. But yeah, two slightly different processes. But yes, both uses paper for the assembly, right? So we got the top half done of the butterfly. Then we can work on the second half, and I'm gonna use this other little scrappy print. So B is the part of the butterfly wing bottom, and this one doesn't really matter. I don't need to fuzzy cut or anything. Let's get a little bit of glue. Well, this piece might be a little tight, but we shall make it work. Okay, it's okay. Since we're just making a little quick sample here, basting sample, doesn't have to be exact. We just trim it off, the excess, like that. And then we need 3 of the background pieces, right? Let's grab some of my blue. And I'll be a little more quicker. Oh, that's like way off. Need a little more fabric there. There we go. Just cut off a chunk. Chunky chunk. And just 2 more pieces. And then we can keep on keeping on. See here. So I know lots of folks are like really, really good at foundation paper piecing. I don't know what it is. Like my brain wants to figure out what it's gonna look like when it's mirrored, and then it just goes haywire. Like short out. And but I do like simple foundation paper piecing patterns. Those I can handle. In fact, I have some foundation paper piecing patterns in my book too. So yeah, if they're pretty straightforward, I don't mind it. There we go. And one last piece. Let's see. Ugh. Okay. So for this one, I need to have B and then F, G, and H, like so. Okay, so that'll be our half. So I'm just gonna move this up and then we're gonna work on this part. So I'm gonna start with the short side inside here, just so I can go clockwise, and we'll see how that goes. See, I end up with a little tail here, so I might reconsider the order because I'm trying to keep the center line as clear as possible because I don't want the opposite side to have a tail too that's gonna face this way, right? So I'm gonna just lift this up and redo it now. And the tail can face up and there won't be any issues because there's nothing for it to collide with here. Like so when they're meeting, like that. Oh, so much glue. And if you are somewhere where they don't carry Elmer's glue sticks, Amazon has their purple washable glue sticks from their Amazon Basics line. That one works really well too. I tried it and it's like, oh, it's the same as Elmer's, like that. Okay, so now we have that little tail sticking up. So I should have started with the top side of the B and gone clockwise to have the little tail go on top the A piece like that. Ta-da! Oops! Come on, move down. So that's what we're doing. And now I can do F. I'm just gonna start with the short side on the F piece. So usually this is what I sit and figure out for the EPP club members for our block of the months, where I share the basting tips with them for the monthly block so that they don't have to fiddle with this. See, Now, if I do it in this order, these two tails will collide. So that's quickly telling me to open this up and open this up and do this one long side first and then do this side. So this is what I meant by it's like putting a puzzle together. You figure it out as you go. And there's no right or wrong way. Just have fun with it. And if you just want to baste all your pieces and like leave it up to chance, that's fine too. Because when you start piecing them together, sewing them together, you'll notice, oh, I should have basted this in the wrong, different direction. Then you can just undo the seams that you need to open up to make the seam allowance overlap. See, now we have these two little tails sitting on top of the F piece. Okay, and let's see, G, G, I think will be okay no matter what side we start with. So I'm just gonna start with the connecting side there. Oops, stay there, you. And keep on going. So it's like a little workout for our brains too, right? Brain aerobics. I think that's what we should call it. Like that. Very good. Yes. Love it. And then we have one more piece. So I don't want to do the long side first because then the tail's going to face into towards the center when I do the second side. So I'm going to start with the top side here because that will guarantee that the tail here will face in toward the block. Like so. And keep on going. And the last side. And now we have the tail facing up and in, and it'll lay on top of the B piece here and not collide with anything. And this little tail will lay on top of the G piece like that. So you have all your tails tucking in and over the adjacent pieces like that. Oh, let me move it down like that. Okay. So this is my process when I start basting, just to make sure, oh, should I be going in this direction or that direction when I baste the pieces? And then usually what I do for the club members then, I don't do it for the Hexi Magic pieces in general because I think it's a good little brain exercise for all the members. But for the club blocks, because they're much bigger and intricate, I then go ahead and label the basting order basically. So I just write 1, 2, 3, and 4. So then they know which way to baste each piece to have all the tails facing a particular direction. So this is just my process. You might have a different process. Like I was saying, there's no right or wrong way. And then now if we turn this block over, half side, like so, you can see that little tail there. And the piece here will sit on top. All 3 tails will tuck in and under like that. Da-da. Tail would tuck in under the top part. And then we just flip these 2 over like so. And then you have their tails tucking in and over each other like that. So then you're looking at this half of the butterfly like so. Yay! So, and then I would just go ahead and repeat the opposite direction for the second half. And then you have a clean center line where you can put your 2 halves together and then you have a full block. So I hope this makes sense. Any questions? Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, Katrine! Hello! Yes, Bohin. I always forget. But I do like their needles. Yeah, and then I always forget. It was so fun. One of the quilt shows I went to, most of the gentlemen, they only spoke French. So that was kind of funny. Oh no, Katrine says, I did it. I infected a friend with the EPP virus. Hold on, let me just, where's my head? looks funny when just talking my hands. Uh, Here we go. Here's my head. So Katrine says, I did it. I infected a friend with the EPP virus. And now I also started again attaching the border to my double wedding ring. Oh my God. Can't wait to see. Katrine's double wedding ring updates, you can see those in the Facebook group. Just go to the guides and you'll see the double wedding ring guide. And then you'll see her photos in there. And they're gorgeous. Oh, so what kind of project did you get your friend addicted to EPP with? See, yeah, this is great to see you here. You're so great at finishing projects. I agree. Uh so yeah, I'm not a foundation paper piecing expert. So Carrie at Canary Quilts does a lot of foundation paper piecing on her channel. Awesome sauce. Let's see. Oh, Kathy. So EPP stands for English paper piecing, which is what this is, where we baste the fabrics around individual paper pieces instead of sewing them together like foundation paper piecing on top of a piece of paper. Okay, so we do individual units like this, sew them together, and then we get quilt blocks that way. Let's see. Yes, and DWR stands for double wedding ring pattern, like Nancy said. Oh, see, I'm still working on my double wedding ring too, Lucy. I'm gonna start posting progress updates posts on Wednesdays. Double wedding ring Wednesdays. I was waiting a little bit so I can find mine too, but I found it. So now we can start working on those again. Let's see here. See? Lucy and I, FPP, foundation paper piecing, makes our brains break, but EPP I can handle. See, okay, so Jenny also thread based. She says, I thread base my pieces, but I do use glue sticks when I am fussy cutting. I place the paper on the fabric Elise is doing here, and that way all my fussy cut shapes have the same look to them. Yes. And Jenny does fabulous fussy cutting and just gorgeous. Uh, 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 uh. And good tip from Nancy here too. Thread basting can stay in when you remove the papers unless you stitch through the papers. Yeah. So when I started EPP, I started with thread basting. That was what I first saw and said, oh, okay, thread basting, I can do it. But I did not enjoy thread basting all the way through the papers. Oh, that was just like made big indents in my fingers, and I was like, I'm gonna poke a hole through my thumb. But just thread basting through the fabric, it's actually quite meditative as well. But once I found glue basting, it's just kind of like, and I haven't turned back since. But yeah, there's time and a place for both glue basting and thread basting. You can switch off. You don't have to be a hardcore either way. We love all glue basters and thread basters alike here, so so not to worry. So if you do prefer thread basting, yes, like Hannah was saying and like Nancy's saying, you can leave your basting in after you remove the papers as well. Just that if you want to change the direction of the seams that you've thread basted, then you need to open them up obviously and refold and just give it a little press. Let's see here. Okay. Grandmother's flower garden, so hexagon flowers. Love it, love it, love it. Bye, Lucy. Thanks for popping on. Let's see here. So, I'm hoping this makes sense. It might have looked a little more complicated than it has to. For if you're a beginner, I would just say start thread basting or glue basting in either way. Whichever direction you want. Because I'm right-handed, I tend to do glue basting in clockwise, not counterclockwise, in a clockwise direction. But lots of folks like to do counterclockwise. But just do the same on all your pieces, and then you'll quickly find out if you need to start basting from a different side of a piece to make sure that your tails face a certain direction so that they don't clash. Let's say this tail was sticking up and this tail was sticking up there. Let me show you here what I mean. I can undo this real quick. see, Kona is like, I put a little too much glue on this one. Oh, I can open. Yes, yes. Hold on. Let me put a little more glue again. Let's just imagine I glue basted it this direction, like so. And now when you come to sew these two pieces together, see how the tails collide right there? This one's sticking up and this one's sticking down. It's just gonna be really awkward when you try to sew these two pieces together, right? So you'll quickly find out when you need to redo the basting on one of your pieces. And then, like I was saying, glue basting, you can just quickly open it up and change the order of the basting, like so. And now, ta-da, the tail is facing down and away from this tail, and they're no longer colliding. And when you go to sew them together, it's gonna come together smoothly, like so. So those are just my little tips and what I like to do to figure out the basting order of my pieces, to figure out how to get my little tails and whatnots it's to stay put and not collide with each other. Let's see here. Any questions at all? Dun, dun, dun. Let me make sure our Facebook friends are doing okay. Yes, I don't see any. Let me refresh. I don't see any questions there. Da, da, da. Oh, Judy! Hello! Hello from Oklahoma! Finally caught you live. Yay! And Belinda! Hello! From Nebraska. So glad you made it. Yay! And I see, here's Maria. Hello, Maria! And oh, so Maria asked, maybe a stupid question. I'm a newbie. No stupid questions at all, Maria. Do not feel like you're asking anything stupid. The group is there so that you can ask questions. So good thing that you did. And if there's anyone else that might have wanted to ask, but they were holding back, so you just put the question out there, which is really good. So she asked, do you in EPP only sew the top in the paper or only in the fabric? Oh yeah, so you don't need to sew through the paper at all in English paper piecing. So technically I do like just between friends. Sometimes when I'm like really like excited and sewing, I notice I sew so close to the paper when I'm sewing two pieces together. I get a little like super like I'm gonna do this like and I get really excited. And I notice you should only sew through the fabric, but sometimes I sew a little too deep where it goes right up across the paper too. And when I remove the paper, it looks like it, like perforated paper. When you tear it, you see the little jagged edges like on top of the paper. Sometimes that happens. So yeah, that means I was just sewing a little wee bit too deep into the seam here and just going over the paper where it looks like it's been perforated after you remove it. So you just want to sew right across through the fabric if you can. But if you end up like sewing a little bit through the paper at the top, no worries. It's just gonna look a little jagged when you remove the paper, but as far as your project goes, probably not gonna notice unless it's like super, super deep. We don't want that. So you just try to go as close to the edge of the seam here so that you only catch the fabric. But don't worry if you catch a little bit of the paper too, because I've been known to do that from time and then, now and then again too. Yeah. So yeah, that's totally normal. And even with papers that you've sewn across the edge a little too deep, just press them and you can reuse those too. Let's see. Nancy asks, Elise, where is that butterfly pattern? And Janice said, it's the Hexy Magic vlog for this week. Nancy, I posted an announcement in the group. Go download your Hexy Magic. It's right there. So and then you can start making it. And then we have several members share their blocks already. And oh, Jenny, thank you so much. 3 thumbs up. Oh, dang it. Thanks. Let's see. And PJ, Kathy said, I'm kind of new to no such thing as a stupid question, except when you ask a question that you already know the answer. Well, I mean, even if you know the answer, might just be a slight nuance that you want some specification on. Yeah, that's totally fine. So yeah, no stupid questions, and you gotta ask questions, Mary. So I'm super glad that you did, and thank you for asking. And yeah, you'll notice I have noticed too that also a little too deep into my seams, and then it's not the end of the world. And but try to do just through the fabric if you can, because that'll be smoother too as you're sewing, because you won't feel that resistance as you're go. What do you go like? What do you? The word left my brain. What is it? You could like going slightly on top of an edge or something. There's a word for it, but yeah, you don't want to go so close that your needle is making like a slight uh scrape, indent in the paper underneath the fabric as you're sewing them together. So yeah, try to just sew through the fabric if you can. But if you end up going a little too deep here and there, that's okay. No worries. Uh, let's see. I think I got all the questions. And Katrine, I hope you get a chance to share your friends uh flower garden too. I would love to see. And tell her we would love to see her in the school group too if she wants to join. Ah. And I shall see you all next week. Do know that if you've been waiting for the to join the EPP club, it is now open. So you can go ahead and join it this week if you want to come and join us. We're starting a new block of the month on Thursday. Where's my face there? And let's see. I wonder if I have it saved here. If you do want to come and join us in the EPP club, here's the link where you can go and learn more about it. So you can read about it and see if it's something that would interest you. Da-da-da. There we go. That's the link. I've shared it in the comments. Uh, 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 uh. Oh, yeah. So, like Hannah said, even if you know the answer to your question, it can be interesting to get others' perspective on the matter. Yeah, I think we do learn from others' perspective and experience too, because everyone has slightly different experience with everything, anything as things go here in the world. And that's always interesting as well. And I think, was that everything? I think that was everything. Oh yeah, and if you want the butterfly block that we just talked about today, that's inside the EPP Society on School. That's a different group. It's not part of the Facebook group, but you can come and check it out here. Let me share the link. It's school.com/EPP and /about. You don't need the about necessarily, but school.com/EPP. And then you can read more about the EPP Society. And that's where you'll find the Hexi Magic block with the butterfly. This week, every Monday, there's a new block. So next Monday, this block poof goes away and it's replaced by a new block. So if you want the butterfly block, come and join us this week. And I think that's it for me today. And I can't wait for Thursday when we start the new block of the month in the club. And so I shall see you all next Tuesday. Same time, same place. Bye.